All right, wait. Mike back with Smart Coyote.
All right, so what makes Mike Beckwith a smart coyote? Mike's one of those guys that doesn't stop at the first answer you give him. He uses every resources he can find to get the complete answer. Every market update we get, every howler, every report he can get his hands on, he makes sure that he's gathering as much information he can to make decisions. His team has a lot of difficult accounts, and he's got to use his resources and reporting to make sure he's making the best decisions and to really taking those accounts down the right path to grow them. I think he does an incredible job of this. He keeps all of us organized as managers with all of our reporting links. He knows exactly where to go for what. He utilizes his resources in other offices, a lot of the flatbed team. He builds connections there, and he really makes sure that he's not just looking within himself for answers, but he's reaching out and finding as much information he can and using as many different people as he can to find the right answer that he's happy with.
Good morning, guys. This is Chris Wiegand, coming from cloudy Portland, Oregon right now. I was tasked with doing a quick video on the rare Beckwith coyote and what makes him smart. So we're going to talk about Mike Beckwith real quick and what makes him a smart coyote. I've known Mike for a little while now. Mike was actually a really big influence. When I first started at Coyote, he told me a lot about the company and was very, very helpful to me when I first started out. He actually gave me my first book ever at Coyote. He kind of threw me a softball that I helped him out with. But Mike has got a lot of great qualities. He's a great leader. He has nothing but the utmost respect for his team, which is huge. If you're in a leadership role, kind of knowing how to manage your team and getting the most out of your people is a huge skill that he has. I would love running any loads for his ops team because I know that the communication is going to be there. It's going to go as smooth as possible 9 times out of 10. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. Mike is kind of the ideal employee when it comes to those attributes, kind of knowing how to get the most out of his people, knowing his customers, knowing their lanes, knowing their needs, and then knowing how to communicate that to the carrier side as well. Really does make him a smart coyote. Thanks, guys.
One example of Mike Beckwith being a smart coyote is last quarter we aggressively raided a customer's lanes. Turns out they were a little too aggressive, so he was able to sweet talk the customer into re-rating the lanes. While re-rating the lanes, he came up with an ingenious formula on Excel, and we were able to kind of plug in the city, the origin city, destination, populate some miles, and spit out a rate. So we tested that, and it turned out to be a perfect formula for what we were trying to do.
Well, first of all, experience. Mike's actually one of our more inexperienced managers at this point in terms of tenure. However, it hasn't seemed to hold Mike back. Mike's one of those guys where he has a relentless pursuit of what's right, very aware and mindful of himself in that space where there's things that he knows. He's very eager to share those things and act accordingly. But in those areas he's unaware, or maybe that time and freight isn't giving him the personal experience. He knows how to leverage his team and work with others to make sure he's covered. As far as intelligence goes, again, back to that mindful concept, Mike is very aware of where he's at. He's an avid reader these days. I know that's something that's been really tough for Mike in the past. Leather-bound books, though, are one of his new hobbies, which I think is very important. And actually I was thinking about this last night when I was posed the question, and really the Beckwith, how I would paraphrase smart. The S, I would go with smug. The M, again, mindful. A, assertive, more commonly known as asshole. R, relentless. Again, relentless in his pursuit of knowledge, in his pursuit of perfection. Sometimes a little bull in the china shop, but the good qualities there far outweigh the bad. And T, I would have to say teacher and teammate. So to kind of put it all together, Mike is a smug, mindful asshole who is a relentless teammate.